Hey y'all, welcome. I'm Mikey and this is Tell Your Friends. Thank you for joining me live on Glacier FM, sponsored by Kalia's Dream Cosmetics. Come on in, take a seat, and get comfortable. We're going to chill for a little while. So here we are with another installment of From a Man's Perspective, and I'm going to let my guest introduce himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyrone Betters. I am an actor and model based out of Dallas, Texas. Yeah, that's what I do. I live, breathe, eat, sleep, all of that.
All right. So we can just go right on into it. Can we get your age and your relationship status?
I am 33 and I am in a relationship.
All right. And where did you grow up? Did you have both parents? Tell us a little
I
bit about you.
I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I did have both parents, but they were not together. They actually had me in high school, so they were 18 when
Oh,
they had me. So my dad went off to college. My mom had another year of high school, and kind of just around that age, you still find yourself. So my dad was off in college, but I had both my parents in my life growing up.
okay. That's cool. That's cool. I know how that is having children young. I did that
E-
myself, but
Exactly.
we were still together and co-parenting. So
Hmm.
that's good that they were able to do that. So, do you feel that the women of our community have become too independent or too masculine, as they like to call us?
I would say no. I can't categorize that all women. I mean, there's instances where some are. I think it's just adapted to the environment of today. Um, when you think of dads are harder on their boys on most aspects, but they tell their daughters to be independent. They tell their daughters to be able to do for yourself and all those things. So a lot of times it stems from the beginning, and they just grow into that, and then it doesn't help that there are things along their life. They meet different men from all different backgrounds, some that ain't shit, some that are shit, but just just they don't they're not appeased to them. Even growing up, there are phases where women love the bad boy. They love the guy that's edgy and stuff. But then as they get older, they start to veer away from that. But in the same sense, things have already happened at the time. So sometimes there are early pregnancies. There are now I have a kid from this guy that I loved at one point in time, but he's mentally not where I'm trying to be. So there's things like that, you know what I mean, and that can reinforce those instances where it's like I need to be more independent. Right now, right right now. My bad. Just got to say, oh, Lord,
No problem.
babe, I can't. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Life happens.
Exactly. You know, dad and everything. So
And
I'm
we're
just gonna
raw
give me
around here, so things happen and we just keep it pushing.
absolutely. Give me a second. Mm. A little dark. My apologies.
It's okay. They can't see
Okay.
it where they're when they're listening. Only on YouTube they can
Absolutely.
see it.
Okay. Um. Um. Just to reiterate, so just to answer the question again, I think it's just per person. I'm not a big generalization person. I think that some women are like that, some women are like this. Not one size fits all. Now, there's a lot of similarities in that, but it just depends on the person in their perspective.
I like that you don't generalize because I find as a black woman that we're all kind of thrown into the same bucket. You know what I mean? So if you run into one or two or three that are, let's say, obnoxious or have a bad attitude, it's like all of us do. And then I
Hmm.
run into people, and then after they have an interaction with me, then I'll hear something like, "Oh, you're not like the rest of them," which to me, I
Exactly.
feel like
It's
is kind
still
of like an
disrespectful.
underhanded
It's
compliment.
that's
You
that's
know,
still disrespectful. That's very
right?
much still.
I
You're
feel
not
like
like
it
the
is
rest
as
of them.
well. Right. So what are you
Exactly.
saying? You know,
Exactly.
like
So what do you
that's
really
like when you
feel?
tell a girl that's kind of, on the heavier side, you'd be even more beautiful if you lost some weight. Like, why
Exactly.
would you say that to someone? Or I've heard before, like, you're real beautiful for a dark skinned girl. So what are you saying? Like, dark skinned women aren't pretty? Like, So to me, that's like a underhanded compliment.
It
But
definitely is. It's something that you shouldn't take lightly to
I
because
don't.
your
It
antennas
bothers
should be
me.
up all the way.
They are. I don't like it, but it just bothers me that there's such a stereotype of us women in our community just being angry, and
Hmm.
when that, like you said, that's not all of us. Yes, there are
Absolutely.
some that are, but I don't feel like all of us should have to suffer that stereotype because
Exactly.
of the ones that other people have run into.
And even in saying it, and yet all men are dogs, all men are these, all men are that.
Yes,
So
I
we,
hear that all the
the
time
thing
from
is,
women.
what happens is not all women, but some women arguing is we're all not the same, but they'll categorize all men with a blink without a blink of an eye, and we're like, well, y'all know how y'all are, but
Right,
I'm not like the next person not like me. So that same respect that you want is not often given, and but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with our sisters or anything. It's just that it's a skewed view sometimes.
right. I feel like a lot of us in our community need healing. And, like you were saying, a lot of us have childhood traumas, and then we become adults, and then we add on adulthood traumas. We're messing with this one that didn't mean us any good. And then next thing you know, you're just running around broken and toxic, and you're just like
Hmm.
dropping
And breaking
toxicity
people.
off on everybody.
Healing therapy. A lot of people try to go to so many different things, but you need to go to therapy. You need to do the work. A lot of times, even on the relationship side, right? I'm gonna just find somebody that'll complete me completely. But you gotta come to a relationship whole already. You have to do the work. A lot of times we see it is prevalent. A lot of women is like, come to me healed, come healed already. But the ones that saying come healed are not healed. They're still dealing with their mess, but they're trying to deal with it internally instead of going to see somebody that can help you do those things. Right? It's the norm of mental health now. It's the norm of finding a therapist, right? But not just finding one to say because it's cool, because it seems like the cool thing to do, but it's actually finding one that's going to help you sort out your shit so that you
Right.
can grow to be the person that you want to be for somebody that God has in store for you.
I think sometimes we think we're more healed than we are. And then
Absolutely.
we end up in a relationship, and then we realize, wait a minute, I might not have been as healed as I thought I was. And so now we're in this, position, and it's like, I love this person, but I'm not healed. Like, what do I do?
Mhm.
So I feel like a lot of us find ourselves in that situation sometimes.
Absolutely. And that's men and women. That's
Oh,
not just
yeah.
one. That's not just
Yeah,
one
that's
thing.
all of us.
A lot of men like to push that off on women, but we still healing from the third grade because a girl said she ain't like us or something. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that's everybody, but that's
Right,
somebody's story. But at some point, you got to do the work. And it's the same thing if
right,
you want to be an actor, if you want to be a doctor, you have to do the work. If you want to be whole, you have to do the work. And you can't bank on the person that's your girlfriend or boyfriend. They're not trained to be there. They're there to support you, but they can't be
right.
your go to for healing. You have to do that work on your own.
I agree. So, how do you feel about this bad bee chasing the bag, feminist energy of this? I'm not even going to say the new generation because there's women my age that are on that energy. So, how do
I
you feel
think
about
I'm
this
with it.
temperature now?
I'm
You're
with
with
it.
it?
I'm all for it. But see, this is my thing, right? So a lot of times we see these podcasts or we see these different things, and they're always talking about a lot of people, men and women, have non-negotiables. And this is what I say to
Mhm.
come back there. Show your work. So what has it done for you, right? Because it's easy to preach all these things, but are you living by those principles? And if you are, what's the outcome of it? Are you in a thriving relationship? Are you on your way to being engaged? Are you happily married? Are you divorced? So sometimes we gotta credit check the people that's giving the facts, quote unquote facts, right? So when you talk about the bad beat era and stuff, right now, in if you it's even by the numbers. Black women are running in every dimension or every field, whether it's acting, whether it's being in the celebrity space, whether it's being in PR spaces. Black women are at the top, right? So we get the whole. If a man don't make as much as I make, then I'm not interested and stuff. So it's all these different calibers of expectations. All I can say is, does he like me? Is he God fearing? Is he a provider? Is he a helpmate? And that's both and vice versa, right? It's so many different standards that people have that I start getting confused on my eyes. So you want a man that make more than you, and that can provide for you and all that stuff, but he needs to have time to make time this and the third. It's like a man can't do it all. It's there's going to be
Mm-mm.
give and take, and there's going to be sacrifice, and a lot of times people not willing to make those sacrifices because they have their non-negotiable, and it's my way or the highway, and that whole I'm a bad bee and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. It's the notion that I can do whatever I want to do with no consequences, but that's not even real life. In real life, there's always consequences to your actions. So yes, be free. Go post all your pictures on Facebook, this and the third. People might be looking at you. People might be lusting over you, but that don't mean necessarily mean that people want to be with you and see a stable life with you. And that's on the men's side too. You keep
Mm.
posting your cars, keep posting your money, keep flexing, doing all these things. People gonna gravitate towards you, but they're gravitating toward the things that you can offer, and not the individual that you are. So this whole
Yeah.
social media thing is fake. It's been fake and it's going to continue to be fake because that's what people buy
Hmm.
into. But that's why you see so many people in depression because they have this FOMO of I need to go get this car, I need to go get this job, I need to go get this girlfriend, boyfriend, I need to go get this BBL. People going under the knives, killing themselves to look like an image that ain't even real.
Right. I agree. And like what you said, like I don't necessarily have a problem with the bad bee chasing the bag. I don't have a problem with that, but I just feel like you might want to think about what your end goal is before you start on that. Because if, like you just said, if you want to be a wife one day, if you want to be in a relationship, that bad bee chasing the bag energy probably is not going to get you that. Like I tell
Absolutely.
women all the time, men are visual creatures. I was raised by my father. So I got to pick a man's brain all my life. Didn't really have my mother as often, but I had my father. So I
Yeah.
learned about you guys, and you guys are visual creatures. So if there's something appeasing to your eye, you're going to look at it and
Yeah.
possibly sleep with it. But that doesn't mean you want to marry her. That doesn't mean you want to build with her. That doesn't mean you want to pour into her. So if you want to be a bad bee and you want to chase the bag and do all that, have at it. But once you get about 35, 40, and as Kevin Samuel says, you hit the wall, then you can think about all of that stuff that you were doing in your 20s and 30s when you probably should have been preparing to be a wife if that was your end goal.
Men and women don't like hearing the truth about themselves. That's why they're so combative. A lot of times there's no effective communication because the moment I feel disrespected, I'm shut down. I'm not disrespected because you disrespected me. I'm disrespected because you telling me the truth about myself and I don't want to hear it. So a lot of times when we're communicating, we're telling somebody how we feel, they internalize it to the point that they think that they blaming you for everything. No, I'm communicating with you. This is another reason why a lot of men don't open up to their women or to women in general because it's one, you're not really listening to me. You're listening to respond and to not effectively understand or comprehend. Two, when you get mad at me, you'll throw, oh, you need to shut your depressive ass up. Like, damn. Like, you'll weaponize that. So it's always about creating a safe space for the woman. Absolutely, as the man, you're supposed to create that safe space. But my house still has to be a safe space for me. The
Yes.
things that we build together has to be safe for me as well. A lot of times that goes unnoticed because it's oh he should be able to deal with it. Go to therapy. Yeah, I can go to a therapist, but if I don't have peace in my house, I don't even want to be here.
Right.
I don't even want to.
Right.
I can't even move, right? Because at the end of the day, it's always provide and provide, provide. But if you give to a woman, she'll multiply. Whatever you give to a woman, she can multiply. You give her money, she's gonna multiply. You give her a seed, she's gonna multiply. So if you give her hell, it's gonna multiply. But what if I'm trying to do better, right? And that's back and forth. Again, this is not just essentially that men are this way or women this way. These are principles. These are principles that if If you want to thrive in any capacity, you have to live by them and implement them. Knowledge without implementation is just purely knowing and information, but there is no results from it because you didn't implement the knowledge.
I agree. So, what to you is appropriate or inappropriate as far as clothing goes? Because I feel like a lot of, and I'm not even going to just say our women, but I feel like a lot of women now are just like really doing a whole lot as far as what they're wearing out the house. So, what do you think about appropriate and inappropriate clothing?
I would say a woman knows what she's gonna wear. A woman knows what's appropriate, not appropriate. They know that if they wear this dress, they're gonna be pulling down on it because everything's gonna be showing. They know that. I think a lot of time it's just common sense. I feel that as men, it's not our place to say, "Hey, I don't know if you should wear that." Now, if we do, that's cool. But I'm not into policing my girl. Like I know my girl bad. I'm with her because she bad. So you can't cuff if you know she bad from the get go, you can't start acting different when y'all start going outside. Now, what I do say is, don't start changing your attire just out of nowhere because we should have a conversation about that. Not that I don't think that you should wear that, but it is that all right. You want to go wear that? I throw on some. The moment I throw on some great sweatpants to go outside, you ready to knock me over the head. So it's that
Hmm.
imbalance that I'm. That's the. It's the imbalance at times that it's confusing because I'm not policing you. You can wear what you want to wear. Go hang out with your friend. Matter of fact, go hang out. Don't text me. Don't call. I got my daughter. Hey, y'all have fun at it. Go do your thing. But just know that you're not just representing yourself. You represent me too because we together, right? And vice versa. I
Yeah.
can't be just outside looking all crazy or whatever because I'm connected to her in some form of fashion. Now, about this going to the Kiki Palmer, there's a time and place, and I'm not talking about from her. Now, looking back, what's she going fanning out about this and that? Maybe she was doing a little bit too much. Who cares? Whatever. You don't publicly come at your girl, the mother of your child, to prove a point. You say that for the house because now you're bringing people inside your home because you want to run off in the mouth where you feel away. Understand? And then Kiki Palmer been famous since she was little, right?
A
It's
little
it's just,
girl.
it's just understand the dynamics that you in. If she was just a regular schmegular everyday girl or whatever, that's one thing. But Kiki Palmer always been Kiki Palmer before
For
we even
years.
knew who Buddy was. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
just understand that yes, you the man of the house and you the man of y'all house, whatever y'all situation. But being that man is knowing is having the reverence to know that I'm not gonna chastise you in public. We gonna talk about
Right.
this in private, but I hold you down in public.
I
That's
agree.
like that's like if we outside and we get into an argument, you start calling you a no shit ass nigga. Like, damn, you gonna say this shit in front of your friends outside?
Mm-mm.
What you think they gonna start
Yeah.
thinking of me? Cause you can't
Right.
take it back.
No.
Can't
You've
take it
already
back.
said it. And they're
It's
not
already
going to
said,
ever
and this
forget
is
it.
they're not gonna ever forget it. That's why you should never go to your friends when you upset about something
Nope.
because you got over it, but that don't mean they did.
Oh, they hate him after that. You guys are cool. You guys are out shopping, kissing, and in love tomorrow, and they hate him still.
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
have three sisters, so I already know.
don't set your family dynamic up for failure by doing that, being emotional. We all emotional creatures, but what makes us mature is understanding when to tap into our emotions, when to reach out and have a conversation because we feel a certain type of way. That's a text message. That's not a tweet. That's a text message. Hey, calm down. Like you doing the most right now.
Right.
She might not see it at that time, but shit, she in Vegas. Come on, like understand what's going on. But you sending a tweet out now, the whole world is in your business. But that's on you. I don't feel bad for people that make uh public decisions off of emotion, because then now it's like, dang, what did I do? Because I
And
was
you can't
upset.
take it
Because
back.
I was can't take it back. And then you try
Mm-mm.
to double down on it. Nah,
And she broke up with him
come on, babe.
for it. Well,
She
after
broke
it.
up with him. They
I
broke
think
her.
so. I think so.
Dang. But see, things like that is it's different when there's a child involved as well. So I mean, she been
I
had
think I
money, but
did.
it's always different when there's a child involved. It's certain things you it's just certain things you can't do.
I understand and I feel that as far as the clothing thing goes, for me, like, because I'm not single either. So there were certain things that I would wear single that I wouldn't necessarily wear now. But my king is like you. He's not gonna police me or tell me what I can and cannot wear. He's not like that. But I just feel like as a woman, and I've been, on this earth for quite a few years here, I know that certain things that I wear is going to get me certain types of attention.
Hmm.
And because I don't feel like all day saying, no, thank you, I'm in a relationship, no, thank you. I don't feel like doing that all day. So there's certain things I'm just not going to wear because I don't want to bring extra attention on myself. And like you said, I'm
Absolutely.
representing my king and I want to represent him in the right way. So I feel like it's a respect thing. I don't feel like your king should have to ask you to change the way you dress if you were, dressing provocatively. He shouldn't have to ask you. You should respect yourself, him, and the relationship enough to where you just be like, well, let me, put a little, put a little class on it now. Like
Hmm.
usually when you dress like that, you want to get attention. So once you have a king in your life, you shouldn't be trying to get all these other men's attention. You should really only be worried about his. So if you have a woman who's still, wearing her butt out and everything's on the glass, she wants other men's attention.
I can see that. I also see it from the standpoint of know who you getting with. Like
That's true.
if you've been following her for years, you see how she is, this and the third. If you think that that's gonna change because y'all started, yeah,
It's not.
we would like for that to happen, but we also have to be realistic that this is who she is. And
And she's
then
not going to change it.
when you reach out to a person, the moment y'all start talking, y'all not dating. So you're putting in weeks, you're putting in months, you're putting in however long it takes before you cuff her or make her your woman. So you know her antics, you know how she moves, you know what's going on with her, and you know that maybe this might not be somebody I want to be with, but you know those different things. So me, I'm not gonna if I most of the women that I've dated or consider my girlfriend, they wear makeup on occasion, but they're not a beat up face every single day type of person. They're not a I'm gonna put this shit on every single day type of person. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a down
Hmm.
to earth, but when it's time to get right, we gonna get right and we gonna step. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you just understand each other's energy and dynamic. Is that's why courting and asking questions and going on dates and all those different things matter because you'll know within 3, 4, 5 dates is dang, I should talk about his material stuff. Dang, all she
Right.
want to do is go out and be seen every day. Dang, this and the third. Nah, I'm straight on that. I think I'm gonna fall back.
Right. I don't think a lot of us date with intention these days.
Not
Like
at all.
it's more like, a right now, I want to scratch this itch. It's
Mm,
not too much love anymore. I mean, we don't really even have R&B anymore. And if it is,
for
it's
sure.
not the same kind of R&B that we grew up listening to.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, it's just a lot of love lost in this era right now. And it's, people don't want to get married. It's just like
It's
a
just not a lot of
free for
discernment.
all.
A lot of people use this word discernment, but don't understand fully what it's about. Like understanding that when you have that good feeling about a person, you get the nerves that it's not that they're perfect or anything. It's just that their spirit is not good. Their attitude is not good. And you see it in how they move, you see it in how they walk, how they post. Because a lot of people like to say how I post and what I post is just whatever. But there's always truth to that. There's always
Hmm.
truth to that. So you have to be careful on what you put out into the atmosphere because that's real. It's very real. It's very much real and it's a part of you. And it might not define you, but it is definitely a part of you, right? One
Hmm.
thing doesn't define us. We're made up of so many different things, things that we've been through in life, things that we caught along the way of just understanding and learning from being in different dynamics within groups. being in social groups, being in college, this and third. You always developing, you're always growing because you learn something new every day, something about yourself, something about others that you take away from them and implement inside yourself. So no, one thing doesn't fully define you, but it definitely is a representation or a part of you. So
Mhm.
when you see the I'm about a bag or I'm about this, I'm about that, I'm about being promiscuous, I'm about being all these different things, that's definitely a part of you. And that
Mhm.
definitely shows on how you post on social media. Does it define you? Absolutely not. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? People can make their judgments and stuff, and then if a guy come holler or if a girl come holler and it's a wrap from there. But then when you start having kids in the mix, because y'all was just
Mm.
having fun and kids in the mix, and you start seeing that y'all not compatible. Now we just got a kid that's here that's going back and forth between parents and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And that's generational. So a lot of times, even with you brought up Kevin Samuels before, people don't realize that Kevin Samuels was always harder on men than he was on women.
Mhm.
Him being hard
I
on women
agree.
is what him being hard on women is what made him pop. But he was
Mhm.
always talking to the men first. He was always
He
telling
wasn't
them,
even
mother,
talking
look,
to the women at
you
first.
need to work at least 70 hours a week. That's what he would say. You need to be working 70 hours a week. You need to be preparing yourself. You don't even need to be worrying about dating in your 20s and your 30s. That's what he said. You
Mhm.
need to be working. You need to be grinding. You need to be this and the third.
Putting
And if you're
yourself
not
in the
doing that,
position.
you and if you're not doing that, you're not making yourself in a man worth having a woman.
Mhm.
He was always hard on it, but because women got emotional about the way that he talked toward women, but that's the same way he talked to a men. He kept it a plain field. He was just a lot of times the truth hurts. The truth hurts.
I agree. I didn't have a problem with him. I actually liked Kevin. So, most women didn't like him and most women had a whole lot to say about him. But I feel like those women who had a lot to say about him and didn't like him, you found some truth in the things that he was saying and it had to do with
And it
you.
hurt.
So that's why
And it
you didn't
hurt.
like the message. You were shooting the messenger. But a lot
Exactly.
of the things he said were true. And I feel like a lot of women are delusional and some of their bubbles needed to be popped.
Absolutely, because a lot of times we have an inflated view of ourselves and not a realistic view of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, uh, just because a lot of men want to sleep with you does not mean that you are worthy to be
Say that
a
word,
wife to.
Tyrone. Say
Just
that
because a
again for
lot
the
of women
people in the
want
back.
to, just because that does not make them eligible suitors for what you're trying to do. So
Hmm.
a women that has never touched $100,000 saying that I can't date a man that makes only 100,000. You've never touched it. You never seen it. You never probably even accumulated that. Now I'm not
Hmm.
speaking for everybody, but what I am saying is, look at where you at. You come to a apartment that's ransacked. You live on a air mattress, looking to
On the
get saved,
floor.
looking to get
Right.
saved. But we but you're not even in the spaces of where the men be. You know what
You're
I'm
not going
saying?
to
You're
ever
not
run
even
into them.
like if this is something that you want to do, this what he would say. Look, if lose the weight, that's just normal. Oh, that a man just gonna have to like me as I am. I mean, I feel that, but
No.
$100,000 man or a hundred
It's
thousand
not
dollar
going to like
above
you the way
man,
you are.
why would
There's
I
too many
accept you?
feminine, fit, and friendly women out there for him to not have to deal
Even
with
if I'm
you.
just looking to hook up, there's plenty of people that I can hook up way before I get to you. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it can't happen, but I don't live in a world of it can happen. It can happen. Well, if I don't put myself in a position to be ready for when it can happen, then I'm more than likely it's not gonna happen. If I'm not in these
Mm-mm.
spaces or in these talks or in these restaurants that these men frequent, I'm probably not gonna see one.
No.
I'm just that's just realistic, right? If I want to be an actor, quote unquote, if I want to be an actor, well, if I'm on the couch all day watching TV and I'm not in a class or I'm not on set or I'm not in a space where people can find me or see me acting, then I'm probably not going to be a successful actor, right?
Probably
You
not.
have to. A lot of times we pray for God to change the situation, but God won't change the situation until we get up. and
And
change the
take that first
dynamic
step.
and take that first step. He meets you where you
Hmm.
at. He didn't say be perfect. He said go. And people miss out on the fact that I have to go. But what do we do? Oh, I just gotta wait till I got everything in order before I even. He didn't say that. He said take that first
Mm-mm.
step. And as you go along the journey, you will get prepared. You know you have to take your acting classes. You know you have to go to the different workshops. You know you have to take your photo shoots. And this
You
and
got
the
to get
third.
headshots and all of
You have
that.
to
You know
have the
all of that.
headshots and all those things. You know that along the way. But what happens is preparation plus opportunity equals success.
Hmm.
It's you'll be hard pressed to pray for something and not work for it and see it come to pass.
I
Hard pressed.
agree.
Why? Why is that? If I'm not working towards it, even though I'm praying for it, if I'm not working towards it, I'm never going to see it because I'm
What
not
is it?
putting in
Faith
the
without works
action.
is dead.
Faith without works is dead.
Hmm.
Faith without works is dead. If I want to be
Yes.
married and I don't know how to cook or clean, now there's some men that can do those different things, but maybe I should start picking up things that's
To
going to help
prepare
me
me.
and prepare me to be married. For this
Right.
season, I can't date nobody. I can't date nobody. I gotta date myself. I gotta go. I gotta create. I gotta create the dynamic that I want to see for myself. So no, I'm not finna just jump into work and just try to be this successful career woman, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. But what I am saying is, do you want to be a career woman or do you want to be a wife? Right?
Hmm.
It's all the same dynamic. If I want to be a husband, I need to stop doing the things that's not going to allow me to be a husband. I need to figure out and have discipline within myself. I need to get a workout. I need my body to be in the best shape it can be. Right. I need to be providing for myself before I can even provide for somebody else. And these are all principles. And I'm not saying that everybody is a work in progress. Everybody's a work in progress. Nobody has a
Hmm.
perfect life, and it's God can be like, ah, I'm gonna take that right now because I need you to learn something. Any of that can happen.
Yes.
So what I am saying is you have to have the mindset because once it's in your mind, your body will follow. Absolutely, every single time. Every single time. Once you put in your mind that I want to do something, you'll start getting up and you'll start changing every day. I want to lose weight. Well, let me just start with walking because I don't know if I can live. I'm just walk. Let me just walk once a day, and then it turns into twice a day. Let me get a gym membership. That's what happened to
Hmm.
me when I got into my depression. I knew that in order to be what I needed to be, I need to be my best version of myself. Let me just start walking. All right, from walking to lifting, from lifting to creating routines, and it just works like that.
Hmm.
And
I
being
agree.
intentional, being intentionality, being intentional in everything, in your friendships, in relationships, in your workplace, just being intentional.
I agree. And self-reflective,
Yes,
because I feel like a lot of us, and I like to say us, but a lot of us play the victim and we like to blame our situation on everybody else and everything else.
absolutely,
And as long as you're in that victim role, you're not going to grow. You're going to be stagnant
exactly,
because you're not going to take accountability for anything that you've done, any part that you've played in anything. And it's always going to be everybody else's fault.
absolutely. And you gotta be mindful of that too, because if you're not reflective, you gotta look in your face. It's hard looking in the mirror and saying I fucked up. It's hard admitting that you are the problem because
It
we're
is.
told all the time it's not you, it's somebody else. Oh, it's the
Mm-hmm.
devil. I'm telling you right now,
Oh,
the
it's
devil.
always the
Sometimes,
devil.
sometimes, sometimes the devil don't got time. It's the devil, but we made the choice in the decision. What do we have? Free will. We have the free will. We always hear, don't do it, but sometimes we go do the opposite. But the voice is there. The voice always
Yeah,
says,
you just don't
no,
listen
no,
to
don't
it.
do that. You don't listen. You don't walk away from it. And then when something happens, oh, it's the devil. Nah, it's you.
No, it was
You
you.
put
You
yourself
didn't
in that
listen.
situation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You didn't listen to that intuition that's inside of you, that's built inside of you. You chose to take life on your own accord and do what you want to do. So you get the consequences that come with it.
Exactly. I agree with that. So, since you said that you're in a relationship,
Mhm.
what qualities you said, are you married or you guys are
No, just dating.
okay?
One day, but just dating.
Okay. So, what qualities did she have that made her stand out, you know, from the rest?
She's just a strong. She has a strong will about herself. She's not easily moved on anything. She a hustler. She a go getter. Like she's self motivated. One of the things that she told me before we started dating was I want to be with somebody that works out. Well, I work out, so I know for me, I work out every day, and I'm in the weight room.
Okay.
I'm in the gym, and there might be times where I fluctuate and I'm not working out or anything. But 9 out of 10, I'm finna go run. I'm finna go to the gym. I'm finna eat my food. Then I eat and how then. But she the same way. She get up 5 o'clock every morning. 5 o'clock every morning,
Nice.
go work out. She go do her thing. Like that self motivation, the way that she is with our daughter, the way that she is with the house, it's just it's like it's something that it's something that you I want to go out and work as hard as I can to make sure that I come back and provide the way I need to provide. It's a motivating
Okay.
factor. It's not just because of of physical stuff or anything like that, but it's understanding the dynamic that I care about this person and I want to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to get everything that she needs. Her and my daughter.
Okay, you know what's funny? You haven't disappointed me just like every other man that I talk to. When I ask men that question and when I ask women that question, the answers are always totally different. You, along with every other man that I've asked, when I ask about qualities, you guys always go to like things that add value to your life, personality, character traits. Women are always shallow with it. They always, I want him to be tall. I want this. I want that. Like women always have shallow qualities, and the men are always talking about what value the woman is going to add to their life. It's funny.
Mhm.
I swear you, every
Being
time I
tall is
ask,
not a
every
help.
man does not disappoint me.
Being tall is not a helpmate. That being tall is not an
No,
added value.
being fine ain't no
Having a
helpmate.
bunch of having a bunch of money ain't no helpmate. What's the point of having a bunch of money when you're miserable? He beats you every day, but your needs taken care of,
Right.
but not physically beat you. But he talks to you any type of way. He's always flirtatious around people in front of you. He doesn't. I'm not saying he don't respect you, but I mean, you know what I'm
That isn't
saying. It's
respect.
always it's always a catch to things because God is funny that way. Sometimes we think that this is the person, but the person He wants for you is going to be in a package that you're not even going to look at, and it's going to pass
Totally.
you by. It's going to pass you by because you knew what you wanted, and you wrote this big old list down, and God was like, "Huh, that's funny. Oh, you think that? Watch this.
And usually the list is shallow, like I said. Like most
Always shallow.
women's lists are shallow. Like
Always
when I wrote
shallow.
my list of the things I wanted in my husband, and I had already made the decision years back, like I'm not gonna be shallow. I'm gonna look at people's spirit. I'm gonna look at people's character. So I already made that decision. Now, when I wrote my list, I called myself throwing in a line of some shallowness. And of course, I didn't get anything that was on that line. I got everything else. I put 10 things on the list. One line was shallow. I got all the other nine, but not that one.
A man can check out every box, but because he's short, I can't do it. Why? Why? Because you
Right.
care. Because you care about what other people think, and that's another thing. They care about what their girlfriends think. They care about what other women think,
Mm-hmm.
how they're perceived, this and the third, which is
Mm-hmm.
so facetious. And bro, all these girls going through hell, all of them, men too. Everybody is going through their version of hell on earth and trying to make a way, but they're trying to fight through. A person that fights through and shows you their character when you're talking to them, right? We see it all the time with these interviews. I say this all the time. Authenticity is missing from today's celebrity. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to get
Mm-hmm.
on here like, yeah, you gotta work hard and you gotta grind from the bottom. You just gotta go get it, this and that. Bro, you've been famous for 20 years. Nigga. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like you've been rich for 20 years, bro. Like,
Right.
what's the failures, right? The thing about what's so funny that I sometimes people say stuff about it, but I'm not here to put on a front. I worked several jobs because acting don't pay all the bills, right? Not right now, anyway. I do these different things and I show it. I'll hop on live dropping off orders. I'll hop on
Right.
live being a substitute teacher, which I am a sub. I'll hop on
Okay.
because this is me. I'm giving you me. I'm
Right.
not here to
Authenticity.
I'm not here to feed an ego.
Mm-mm.
I'll do that on set. If
Right.
I'll give you everything you can handle. If you think that I'm gonna come on set and not be prepared and I'm not gonna show my ass off, you crazy. I'm one of them.
Right.
And I'll never not be one of them. Right? Even though I'm still learning, I'm still growing as an actor. I'm still learning different
Hmm.
things, new things. I'm open to things as far as being on set and just learning from different people. I'm never. I don't think that I'm bigger than anybody, but I am gonna give you this work, right? There's
Right.
a difference between delusion and understanding that I always have room to grow. Because when you always have room to grow, you always have room to elevate. The moment you think that you know it all, you're stuck. You know what I
My
mean?
daddy said when you say you've learned, you know everything, you got to be dead. Because as
Gotta
long
be.
as you're alive, you learn it.
You learn it. Being a dad, I learn something new every single day. My daughter, she's 20 months, and it's like I never knew a love like that. I never
Hmm.
understood the fact that I get to see my daughter every day. I'm in her life. When I'm
Hmm.
out of town, it tears me up sometimes because she be growing so fast sometimes. But
They
I
do.
understand I'm out of town to provide for my baby, to be there. I'm an active
Hmm.
father. I'm not no baby daddy. I'm not no nothing. I take my daughter to daycare. I pick her up from daycare. I change my daughter diapers. I'm
And
there
salute to
every single
you.
day. She know who her daddy is.
Daddies
She
are
know who
important
her
to
daddy is.
daughters.
So I'm making that imprint and I'm showing her she gotta go get it. Me and my daughter, we booked the commercial last year. We booked the like actually when she was like about she was 2 months old, and we booked the Arm&
Okay.
Hammer commercial together. So like I have that memory forever, right?
Right.
So it's just it's also along the lines of just continuously learning. I know I don't know it all. I know I'm still learning how to even do half this stuff, daycare and understanding all these different things. But these are the things I'm embracing and I'm excited about, right? And it
Well,
always
parenthood, they don't, it's like you get a car, you get an owner's manual, you get this, you get an owner's manual. They don't hand you your baby with an owner's manual, like, here you go. You
you
got
literally
to figure it out as you go.
exactly you
Every
take
day
bits
is a learning
you
experience.
you take bits and pieces from what you learned as a kid. I don't want to do that. Oh, I liked how we learned that or this and the third. You
Hmm.
take you try to take advice, but the grandparents are grandparents now. Now me and my
Right.
parents we friends now. You know what I mean? So the
Right.
conversation is different. I can ask for different things, but it's only so much. You know what I'm saying? That even at this stage, they're grandparents now. There's things that they're still learning. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just sorry to get off topic,
No, it's
but for
okay.
sure, just
We talk about
continuously,
whatever,
yeah,
wherever the conversation goes.
but just continuously being a student, and you have to be a
Hmm.
student in relationships as well.
I agree. Relationships are work. Anybody who thinks that
Facts,
a relationship is just easy, you're fooled. A relationship is
absolutely,
like a plant. If you don't water it, if you don't give it the sunlight, if you don't take care of it, it's going to die.
facts, absolutely,
It's not easy. So,
absolutely.
what advice would you give single women about men to help them understand men a little better?
Hmm. Become effective listeners,
Mm,
effective listening, and effective communicators. A lot of times, it's hard to understand where a man coming from because and it's even men do it. We get defensive. I said it before, but we get defensive because they're sad and they're telling me, "Oh, so I do that all the time. I didn't know. I thought I'd be da da da." You're not listening. You're not understanding where they're coming from. You're not understanding the day to day of what they're going through. You sit down, check the ego, and listen because it's not about being right. A lot of times we want to be right, but it's not about being right. It's about being what the person needs you to be, and that's just listen. Because it sometimes it ain't even you. It's the pressures of life. Being, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I can only. imagine what it's like to be a black woman. But all I know
I
is
can
being a
only
black
imagine what it's
man,
like to be a black man.
being a black man, it's so funny. I can go on social media and we're everything but men. We niggas, we
Mhm.
bitch ass niggas. Oh,
Mhm.
we don't want no broke. We don't want no broke niggas. Not that
Mhm.
we just struggling right now trying to figure it out and make a way. I'm not talking about those like that. There are niggas out here that are lazy. There are dudes out
Yeah,
here
that
that
ain't
don't do
shit.
what
There
they
there are
supposed to
some.
do. There are some. But when you
Mhm.
start grouping all of us together, what is it? What can we do?
I
Right?
agree.
Because y'all damn sure hate when we do that to y'all.
And
So
do.
what point do we break that cycle and come together and figure this thing out? Because at the end of the day, I'm tired of podcasts talking about so what you should do on the first day. Like what? Like a lot of times I stray away from the relationship conversation because people don't want to have a logical conversation about it. It's always about what the man should do, what the woman should do, what the man should do, what the woman should do, but not what we should do together.
Right.
How do
Right.
we humble ourselves to ourselves so that I can listen to the person that's talking to me? Because at the same time, I'm letting you talk, but I'm letting you talk only for me to tell you why you're wrong, but not
Right.
understanding the points that are right. Because
Right.
in
Like
whatever
you said.
argument you have, there's right points in
Mhm.
all those arguments.
Mhm. But we always listening, like you said, to be right. We're not having the discussion to come to a conclusion or to fix a situation. We're having this back and forth because I want to prove my point. I want to be right. And nobody's listening to anybody. Like you said, nobody's really understanding. I'm just trying to hurry up and let you say what you got to say because I'll have something against it or I can prove you wrong.
Mm,
And that's what a lot of us do, especially women.
absolutely. Absolutely, and again, it's that just though just getting defensive. We have our defense up because I feel attacked. Why are you attacking me? But
Hmm.
sometimes it's case in point, just understanding postpartum. That shit real, and
It is
I
real.
hear men say so loosely sometimes is, "Oh, miss me with the postpartum." Bro, that shit real.
It
it,
is.
it, it takes time for a woman to feel like herself again. And as a man that's with somebody that had to go through that, I had to understand that I gotta take myself out of it. Even though sometimes my nerves be bad, I don't understand what's going on. I have to check my ego and understand what's going on. And sometimes it's just about paying attention. Men and women don't pay attention to the surroundings of their mates. Like you can tell something's uneasy with them. All right, hey babe, just go walk, go do your thing. I'll hold it down over here, just whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that I'm just gonna ask you, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Sometimes no, don't ask me what's wrong with me. It's not that there's just a lot wrong. There's not that just one thing wrong with me. It can be an accumulation of things that's wrong with me, right? And I'm not
Hmm.
feeling like myself. I don't know what's going on, and then it's just me. Like, all right, okay, how can I help? At that point, how can I help? What do you need me to do? And
Sometimes
that's
you can't
when
even put it to words to be able to
exactly,
tell you. I can't even tell you what's wrong with me because I'm trying to figure it out.
exactly, exactly. So it's just whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Right.
And then help out. Like if there's a pet peeve that she don't like, try to stop doing it. They say it's perfect, but it's vice versa because you have to start understanding the signs, and depression looks so many different ways. Like
Hmm.
it's not no one size fits all. So it's just about being aware, having an awareness of she might be tired, he might be tired. Let me just,
Right.
I'll handle all this. Go take a nap, go to sleep, go smoke, go do whatever you need to go do. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can get to back feeling yourself, for that moment.
I agree with that. So, what do you think is one thing women and men can do separately to make a change for the better in our community?
Go to
As
therapy.
far as, we go, because right now we don't seem to like each other too much. So, what can we
Hmm.
do as men and women separately to try to, build strong families again and for us to come together as a unit like we were before all of this?
Go to therapy. Go to therapy.
Simple,
Go to
huh?
therapy. Go to therapy. I'm not saying that it's a process. Like you, the first session, you not going it's not gonna be just a whole bunch of breakthroughs because you're still gonna be
Mm-mm.
guarded up and stuff. But what happens is we'll tell ourselves a lie, and then we keep telling ourselves that same lie over and over again to the point that we start believing it. And now feel like, well, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. You're not fine. You're not okay. The
Mm-mm.
scars still there that haven't healed correctly, right? It's just like twisting your ankle or you breaking your ankle and it heals incorrectly. They gotta re-break it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that it can move and function the way it's supposed to function. Our relationships aren't functioning how they're supposed to function because it's two broken people coming together to create a whole person. It doesn't work that way. We both have to be whole to come together to make another whole person. So unless we handle the stressors and the things or that we have it that they're so dug deep and memories that are so dug deep inside of us that make us the way that we are, it's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be something wrong. It's always going to be something else. It's never going to be okay because we haven't done the work on the inside to be with another person, to be that example that we want to see, like the Cliff and Claire Huxtables. You know what I mean? Like it just is what it is because
I
you
agree.
have to start being real with yourself. I'm like it's hard to say I'm not fit. It's hard to say that I am the at fault for things that happen. It's hard to say that. It really
It
is, man
is.
or woman. But when you start doing that and confessing that, that's where healing comes from. That's where change comes from.
I agree with that. I had to get up, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner, so I had to
Absolutely.
come in here in the kitchen. I'm on my mommy and wifey duties.
Absolutely.
So that was my last question. So now is the time for you to go ahead and promote anything that you have going on. Let the people know where they can find you, check you out.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that we had this conversation. It was a very great conversation. Again, y'all, my name is Tyrone Betters. You can find me at Tyrone Betters on IG. On there, I have my link tree that goes to all of my projects that I have out. It has my EPK. It has all the information about me. Currently, I just wrapped on a film called Code that we shot out here in Dallas. I'm getting ready to prepare to one. I'm shooting a tequila commercial for Ego Tequila. I'm shooting that on Saturday, and then I have another series that I'm shooting in called Bounty TV. So that's coming up in August. I'll be actually in Atlanta August 1st through the 5th. So the 1st through the 4th, I'm looking to book up um, slots, work with different podcasts, work with different photographers, all that stuff. And y'all can be on the lookout for about 6 or 7 projects that'll be dropping within the fourth quarter. I have a film called Perk 30. I have a film called Guns Down. I have a film called Everybody Hates Christmas. Code should be dropping around that same time. And then at the top of the year, I have a film called Dirt that'll be coming out. And then right now, I will say go to Tubi and you'll be able to see No Better Love. I'm in that movie. And if you go to Tubi and search Tyrone Betters, I have a few more movies that'll pop up that y'all can watch. And yeah, still auditioning, still just grinding it out. And shout out to Humble Flourish Clothing. They have this Prince Akeem soccer jersey that I'm rocking right now.
Yeah, it's
So
nice too. I
I'm
like it.
always yes. You see the McDowells, the Golden
Yeah, I
Arches.
see
So
it.
the biggest thing that I can say, a lot of the brands that I work with are black owned. So if you are on my Instagram page, check out the brands that I'm wearing. See if you like something and go cop for real. I'm all about supporting our own. I'm about supporting
Me too.
our people and our brand. I'm a big advocate for that.
Me too. I'm all about supporting black business. Now, I usually do a little round table where I bring back about 5 or 6 of the men that I interviewed. So I'm
Okay.
extending the invitation to you because you have such a good energy, a good vibe, and I think that you would fit in your opinion. I like to have different
Absolutely.
opinions and different ages, all walks of life. And also because I feel like as a community, men and women, there's a bad stigma on us that, we all are always arguing and fighting with each other.
Hmm.
We can't get along. So I like to show something different. I like to bring men and women from different walks of life, different ages, and show we could come together and we can have civilized conversations. We can have a build without it being, anybody being disrespectful or anything like that. So I'm extending that invitation to you now. When I do put it
Absolutely.
together, I will definitely send the invite to you. Um,
I'm
is there anything
I'm
else you'd like to say before we wrap it
I'm
up?
more than I'm more than happy to be on that. Once again, Instagram is at Tyrone Betters. If you go to my link tree, where that's in the bio, it's attached to all my other accounts. You can Google Tyrone Betters, all my stuff will pop up. So yeah, I'm looking for y'all support and shoot me a DM if you like the conversation. If you want to talk about other stuff,
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Tyrone. It was an awesome conversation, great
it
vibe.
absolutely was.
You had great opinions. I never know what to expect out of, the men and their answers. So I love getting all the different answers, different opinions. That's why I made this from a man's perspective, because I want men's perspectives. And all men are
Absolutely,
different. So we're going to always get different perspectives. But that's
absolutely,
why I did this. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Remember, the first step to change is realizing that a change is necessary. I challenge you to do a little self reflection and figure out if it's time for a change. Thank you guys so much for joining me live on Glacier FM. And a special thanks to our sponsor, Kalia's Dream Cosmetics. Please follow me on Spotify and subscribe to YouTube. And if you enjoy, please feel free to share, tell your friends with Mikey, with your friends. I've enjoyed our time together and I appreciate loved your presence. And I hope you'll grace me with it again really soon. Thank you guys, and we'll see you later.